Okay, we're on page 137, 138. I don't want that in my way. So we're doing 3.4, expressing fractions, division expressions.
Division expressions in mixed numbers as decimals.
Division what?
Expressions in mixed numbers as decimals.
And remember, if I'm writing on the board, you should be writing in your notes. I'm going to give quick examples of each of those just so you guys are familiar again. So fractions. Go ahead and write a fraction. Give me an example of a fraction. Any fraction. Mask on, please. Yeah.
4/8.
4/8 is a fraction. Let's try to do that same thing as a division expression. What is it? What's a division expression? Hint. It's pretty similar to that. Yeah.
4/8.
Nope. That is 4/8.
5/8. Is it 2 times 4? 2
Nope.
times 8?
It's 4 divided by 8.
Oh yeah.
And a mixed number. What's a mixed number? Remember, that's when the numerator is greater than the denominator. So if I were to say, instead of 3/2, I would say 1 and 1/2. It's 3/2. 6th grade, not working for me. Are you done with your assignment?
Yeah. Kevin, what are you doing? I thought you were done.
You told me you have something else to do and you gotta be doing it. So 3/2, remember we do 3 divided by 2, goes in 1 time. You got 1 left over, 2 goes on the bottom. This should look familiar, but I'm going over it for help for review. Anytime you see 3/2, 3 divided by 2, 2 goes into that 1 time. 1 times 2 is 2, 3 minus 2 is 1. 1 is left over, so that goes on the top with the 2 on the bottom. Gotta know how to do all those. Alright, so we'll start with what's actually in the section now. We'll go to purple because that's, well, it's not my favorite color, but it's a nice color. I really like the way it looks on a smartphone for some reason. Alright, so if we're doing 2/5 as a decimal, 2/5 as a decimal. So if we make a, can I make a number line on here? Let's see here. I can do that, that'll work. Well, that's not really what I wanted, but that's fine. So let's say I have 0.0, 0.1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
1 whole.
not 10, but 1.0. So 0.9,
AKA
0.8,
1 whole.
0.7, yep, 0.6,
AKA
0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. Okay, so if you're thinking 2/5, we have to think about this in the same terms as tenths. So 0.5 is the same thing as what? How would you say as a fraction?
1/2.
0.5, but directly, what's another way you can actually read it? Instead of saying 0.5, we can say 5.
5/0.
5 5/10, or you can say 5/10. So all of these can go over 10 on the bottom. Here, how can you get it to be over 10 on the bottom? Yeah?
By timing it by 2?
Not just 2, 2.
2 over
Yeah,
2.
2/2 is the same thing as,
2.
think, what is, yes, 2/2 is the same thing as 1 whole. 2/2 is the same thing as what?
1 whole.
Yeah, and if you can you multiply anything by 1? Yes. Does that change the number?
No.
No, it'll just change the way the number
Looks.
Yes. So here this is going to become 4 over 10. If this is 4/10, sorry, this is 4/10, what does this become as a decimal? 0.4. Because this is 4/10 and this is 4/10. This sometimes we say 0.4. We try to say 4/10 as much as we can. So we remember, hey, this is 0.4, but it's the same thing as 4/10. If I were to say this, it would be 40 what?
40.
After tenths comes
100.
hundredths. So 40 hundredths. If I were to say this, it would be 400 thousandths, and so on and so forth.
10 thousandths.
So 4/10, that means 2/5 goes right here. 2 over 5 goes right over 4/10. It's the same thing as 4/10. What?
Why 4 instead of 5?
Why 4? Because remember we turned, this is the, sorry. So 2/5 is the fraction, but we want to turn it we want to have it to have 10 on the bottom so that we can turn it into a decimal. Because the whole point of this is turning fractions into decimals. So 2/5 is not a decimal, and when we have decimals, they're like 4/10, they're always tenths, hundredths, or thousandths. So we want to get this so it has tenths, hundredths, or thousandths on the bottom of it. So we multiplied by 2 over 2 so we can get it to 4 over 10, which becomes 4/10. So 4/10 is the same thing as 2/5. If I were to say 0.2, well, 0.2 is not the same thing as 2/5. 0.4, even though it doesn't look like 2/5, remember we can change this to say multiply by 2 over 2 becomes 4 over 10. 4 over 10 is the same thing as 4/10. So 4/10, 4 over 10, 2 over 5, all of them are the same thing. Just because it's got a 2 here, does that mean that it's going to go over 2/10? No. So you have to say, hey, how do I get a number over 10, and then put the number as the decimal. Yeah?
I have a bump here.
It's not really pressing. You don't need to worry about it right now. Talk to me after class. All right, another one, if I were to say 9 over 20. Remember, I said that on the bottom, we want to have what numbers?
Even.
Not even. Either we want over 10, we want it over 100, or we want it over 1,000. If you couldn't do that, you would want it over 10,000, so on and so forth. So we have to find a way. Can we get this over 10? Can we divide by 2 over 2? What's 9? Can you do 9 divided by 2? No, so you can't get it over 10, so now you have to try to get it over. If you can't get it over 10, you want it over what?
20.
No. Remember we said we want it over 10, 100, 1,000, so on and so forth. So we want it over what?
100.
100. So we have to multiply by what? What do you multiply 20 by to get 100?
5.
Yes, 5. So if we're multiplied by 5 at the bottom, we have to multiply by
5 on the top.
5 on the top. So we're changing it. We're changing the way the fraction looks. Multiplying by 5 over 5. 9 times 5 is?
45.
Yep, 45. So 45 hundredths would become what is the decimal?
The
0.45
0.
over 100. 45 hundredths turns into
4, 5, 4, 5.
45 hundredths. 45 hundredths is 45 hundredths, or 0.45. Remember how we said if you have something like 0.23, this is not 2/10, this is 0.23 or 23 hundredths, because it goes out to the hundredths sign, or the hundredths place. Anyways, so 45 hundredths, where would that go on here? Go right here, halfway between 0.4 and 0.5.
Oh, yeah.
0.45. So we know 9 over 20 is the same thing as 0.45, or 45 hundredths. Alright, we've got 2 guided practice. 4 over 5 and 7 over 20. You can work with a partner. You two can work together, you two can work together, you two can work together. Go. You and you. You and you. You and you.
Me and Carter.
Go. First one done with both of them.
Oh, yes, again. No, Here, Dad. I like you. Come on, Carter.
See if anyone can get it done under a minute.
Lord, 450. Go on. It's 7.8.
Mr. Now.
7.8.
Not the camera.
Thank
Not
you
the
for
camera.
telling us,
Not the
David.
camera.
It's just a joke.
What?
Should I only go up to 7 before starting further on? It's just a-
Yep, that's not that.
So
If
just go to
you
7?
want your, is that what you're gonna do? You're gonna do all of them? What does the assignment say?
I don't know the assignment.
So you're just gonna do all of them then?
I don't know. I need to get it done before you start.
That's been out.
I'm at number 5 right now.
Thanks. Second. It's this. This is 10.4.
Yeah, I'm working.
Oh, that's what you're working on.
Yeah, I turned in my
Oh,
stuff.
yeah, I would just do all of them then, if that's what you wanna do.
Wait, Mr. Bernal, can I have some help?
What?
Can I have some help doing them?
Sure. Anybody got one of them yet?
Yeah, we have.
What's the first one?
16.10.
Nope. All of these numbers are less than 1, so it should be 0 point something. It's not going to be 16 point anything.
I got it.
Yeah, what do you guys got?
0.4.
No!
0.45.
You guys have to agree with each other. Neither of those answers was right though. We already said 9/20ths is 0.45, so how could 7/20ths or 4/5 be the same thing? Yeah?
0.16.
Nope. Look back at the work. Right here, you have to say, am I getting the number over 100 or am I getting the number over 10? If so, what do I have to multiply by? What fraction, like 5 over 5, 3 over 3, 2 over 2, so that I can get 10 on the bottom or 100 on the bottom? One of these, you're getting 10 on the bottom, this one. The other one, you're getting 100 on the bottom, this one. So you have to say, what do I have to multiply by so I can get 10 on the bottom here? What do I have to multiply by so I can get 100 on the bottom here? And then you have to make it a decimal after that.
I got the first one.
What is
I
it?
got the first one. It is 0.8.
Yes, 0.8. You multiply by what?
Multiply by 2.
Not just 2. 2.
2 over 2.
2 over 2 becomes 8 over 10. 8 tenths is 8 tenths. Alright, second one. Someone else other than their group. If you guys are done with both of them, make up your own problem. Baby dog. Are you done?
Times 5 is 100. 28 times 5 is 100.
You're gonna have to ask one of them. I'm done with my question now. Okay, what's the second one?
0.35.
Yes, 0.35. So what do we have to multiply by on top and the bottom?
5 over
Not
5.
5 over 5, thank you. 20 times 5 is 100, 7 times 5 is
35.
35. 35 over 100 is a decimal is
30 over 35.
35 hundredths. Say it, 35 hundredths. Yes, I want you to get used to saying decimals this way because when you say, you can say 0.35. And eventually, that's probably the way I will talk with you most of the time. but it is going to help you understand how fractions and decimals work and how they work interchangeably if you are saying 35 hundredths.
This makes so much sense.
Great. All right, then that's all I have for today.
Video.